My name's Steve and I love people who make things.
You might need to take off your trousers, and we see...
Number of times people have asked me to take off my trousers in a workshop hand. They sit at the heart of our communities, spreading wealth across the country.
I look forward to Mondays.
I love Mondays too.
And I'm going to die here. I'm never going to retire.
The isolation is great. No crowds apart from the tourists and sheep.
And the occasional podcaster like me. Sorry about that.
Yeah.
These are uncertain economic times. Keep our manufacturers alive and we'll thrive.
We all learn how to do everything here because there's so few of us left.
It is becoming a little harder to get young kids out of college that want to get their hands dirty and learn some of these very traditional art forms.
Join me as we compile a list of the greatest items made in the UK and hear stories from inside our factories.
My father has a phrase, he said, you should plan like you're going to live forever and live like you're going to die tomorrow, which I think is a very good way of looking at it.
We need you to live much longer than that, Martin. Welcome to the factory next door and welcome to Northampton in Northamptonshire. It's been a little while since you and I have been here, hasn't it? It's probably something like 20 episodes, which is a surprise given this is a county famed for its manufacturing excellence and craftsmanship. Today you and I are visiting Trickers, Britain's oldest shoemaker. We've actually just arrived and sat round the back of the factory in the staff car park actually, and there's a very loud extractor fan. I don't know if you can hear that in the background. It is very loud, but it gives a hint, or it gives a little hint of the excitement and the machines that are whirring away on the other side of that brick wall. I'm going to go in and say hello. Whilst I do that, you have a listen to what's coming up in this week's show.
A shoe factory where there are 250 processes is a wonderful way for people to learn a craft.
Just around this area alone, there used to be 175 boot and shoe companies.
Can you give me a reason for optimism?
Holly's actually hand sewing the welt in.
Yeah, you want someone with small feet when you're doing shoes like that, don't you?
There's definitely a role for manufacturing to be incorporated into the fabric of every community.
Sorry.
Oh my word, what on earth is that? Blimey. The gimper machine. You're making this up. The gimper machine and a skiver.
Okay, my name is Scott McKee and I am a master bespoke shoemaker and also the factory manager here at Trickers.
Okay, Scott, what are we going to do right now? Where are we heading?
So we're going to go into the lift and we're going to go up to the second floor and we're going to start in the bespoke room.
Great place to start. Let's go.
Okay.
Oh wow, this is an old-fashioned lift.
This building was built in 1903 and we moved in 1905 and this is the original lift from when it was built.
It's brilliant. It's one of those little kind of fold-away door lifts.
Exactly.
So good.
So very old-fashioned.
Oh, okay, so we're into the top floor of the factory?
Top floor of the factory. So we're now entered, this is the start of the bespoke department. So all these wooden lasts that you see here are all individual bespoke customers.
That's amazing. It's just, I mean, how many lasts am I looking at here? Hundreds and hundreds of wooden lasts.
Hundreds and hundreds of wooden lasts and they backdate for over 20, 30, 40 years.
Is this your room, Scott?
This used to be my department. I've been working for Trickers for 29 years this September coming. So I've literally worked
Congratulations.
my way up. Thank you very much. I've worked my way up. I started here when I was 16. I learned all the jobs around the factory and then I had a 3-year apprenticeship in the bespoke department and then I took over the bespoke department / repair department. And then I got promoted to the quality control manager and then the assistant manager and now I'm the factory manager.
Why have you stuck around?
Well, I've been treated very well at Trickers. Management team's been super. The owner of the company is such a lovely guy. I mean, I could say so many fond things about the owner of Trickers. It's just a lovely.
Give me one thing. Give me one thing.
He's just a lovely guy. I'll just leave it at that. He's just a lovely guy. But Trickers has so much. Like it's not just a workplace. It's like a family unit.
Hello there.
This young lady here is one of our apprentices. This is Holly.
Hello, Holly.
Monday to Wednesday, she's just purely on the repairs, but then on the Thursday and Friday, she's doing her bespoke training. So the pair that she's sewing in now, so what she's doing is actually hand sewing a welt in.
It looks unbelievably difficult.
It's very fiddly, and you have to have a lot of patience, and it's very time consuming. I mean, what Holly's doing there.
Holly's nodding there thinking, oh yeah, oh yeah.
Holly's actually hand sewing the welt in. So all depending on how big the shoe is, the foot is, it could take up to an hour just to sew in one foot.
Yeah, you want someone with small feet when you're doing shoes like that, don't you?
Yeah, our biggest customer is a size 18, which the last are just
oh my
here.
word, that is humongous.
And if I put it down, compare it to my foot.
Yeah, you don't want to be doing hand sewing on those shoes, do you? When that customer comes back, as for another pair.
It'll be all right once
You'll be like, ooh.
This customer normally orders 5 pair at a time.
5 pairs at a
5
time?
pairs at a time, yeah.
Holly, can I briefly chat to you?
Yeah, sure.
When did you join?
So I've been here for about 3 years.
Pretend Scott's not here. How is it?
Yeah, no, it's great. It's great. It's really good. Like, I mean, I heard him saying a minute ago, it's like a family. Like, everyone gets on so well. Like, yeah, it's a really lovely place to work.
And why did you join? Why did you become an apprentice?
So I did my degree in fashion design, and then sort of, worked in retail for a few years and was like, I'm not really sure what I'm going to do. But I knew I wanted to do something that is sort of like a craft, like working with my hands. I didn't want to be sitting at a desk all day kind of thing. And then, this came up. I just sort of stumbled across it. It is like a proper craft, and I've learnt so much since I've been here.
Thanks very much for talking to me, and awesome nails, by the way.
Oh, thank you very much.
We'll move on to the next department. Thanks, Holly.
Martin Mason, Managing Director, RE Tricker Limited of Northampton. The workforce is something we're incredibly proud of here. The people that work here are the lifeblood of the business. They've learned and honed their craft over many years. They know that they're producing something that's going to last for a very long period of time, something of value. It's very different to a job where they're working in a distribution centre or a retail store. They're actually making and have a craft, and that's something that is really truly very special today. I mean, there has been such a lack of focus on vocational training in all areas of this country. There is definitely a role for manufacturing. There is definitely a role for manufacturing to be incorporated into the fabric of every community.
Are you angry that we seem to just so easily give up on vocational training?
I think we as a country left it behind when there was a move to get everybody into university, and all of the technical colleges suddenly were rebranded as universities. Some of these tech colleges were absolutely terrific places where you could learn how to, everything from car mechanics to repairing bicycles, hairdressing, bricklaying, electricians. This was, really where people could follow an alternative to going to university and getting a degree. But there was this move where everybody had to get a degree. You couldn't get a job anywhere without a bit of paper that said you had a degree. It didn't mean you had the life experiences or you could actually do the job, but you had a degree, and it was important. So I guess, miss the fact that there were lots of technical colleges out there that gave people an opportunity. And I think making things, whatever it happens to be, or fixing things, repairing things, it does feel like something from the past, but it's actually very relevant for today, because fixing, repairing, buying less but buying better is something that's incredibly relevant for today.
Yeah, we were obsessed with bits of paper from universities for quite a while. Maybe it's time to bring back those technical colleges. Have you had to become effectively a technical college?
Yes, we've had to pick up all of that. There used to be a very good shoe training college in Wellingborough. I think there's a lot of manufacturing companies today have to look on apprenticeship training in-house as being their way of securing future generations.
So where we're going now is into the clicking room. So this is where it all begins. So it's basically the leather room. A leather sorter sorts out the leather, looks for any imperfections on the leather, circles it. So when it goes to the clickers, they don't have to waste their time. Sorry.
Oh my word, what on earth is that? Blimey.
That is just the buzzer telling everybody that it's basically a break time for them.
Oh, right, okay.
You'll hear that 8 times a day. Right. It's not a very nice sound.
It scared me. To celebrate break time, it feels like you need something a little bit happier.
A little bit. So what we're going to do, we're going to be speaking to Joseph.
Hey, Joseph, how you doing?
So Joseph is the 6th generation of this company. So we're going to be speaking to the owner's son.
Ah, very nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
So tell me about this room.
So this is the clicking room. So when the leather will come in, it will go into the pattern room in there and the leather room.
Okay, wow, okay, we're going to the room. There's a lot of leather here. That's a lot of leather.
So Richard would sort every single piece of leather out.
Hi, Richard. Morning.
And he will go through everything, marking all the skins up, making sure there's all the flaws are marked for the clickers. And then the clickers will go back out into the clicking room. And the clickers will cut the leather into their individual pieces for the shoes and the patterns.
Gotcha, I can see the...
Yeah.
Are these the kind of the punch presses?
Yeah, so there's two
along
sides. Obviously,
the side here.
There's the press machines on the left side, and then there's the hand cutting on the right side.
On a completely different subject, just changing it here, were you always destined to work here?
I was always given the opportunity to work here. My dad never put the pressure on us to work here, so there's me and my sister that work here. We never got pressured into doing shoemaking. We always had the opportunity to go elsewhere and do other things. But I think we both sort of said, as it's been in the family for so long, we might as well give it a go and see how we get on with it. And I haven't looked back since.
Do you not feel a little bit of pressure?
I do feel the pressure. When you realise how long it's been going on, you do realise nearly 200 years of handcraft-made shoes that's been in your family ever since the start. You feel the pressure and you feel like, oh, got a bit to fill, big boots to fill. So, but we could do it together, me and my sister.
Was there a moment where you wavered and were thinking, actually, do you know what, I want to go off and do something completely different?
I first started, when I left college, I went to college, I first went away and did sports teaching and lifeguarding. So I had that taste of other employment and other life and everything. But then I thought, let's give it a go, and here I am now.
Chatting to me, which I'm so grateful for. Thanks very much.
No, anytime, no problem.
Hi, I want to quickly jump in here because I am delighted to say that our show has a new partner, and one with a long history of helping manufacturers optimize their operations. Aviva is a leader in industrial intelligence. It was founded almost 50 years ago in Cambridge. Today, its software connects and empowers people to improve plant productivity, sustainability, business agility. And if you're interested in manufacturing, which I'm guessing you are if you're hanging out with me, Aviva's got a newsletter. Do sign up for it. Go to www.aveva.com/factory. I'll put the link in the show notes. My thanks to Aviva for supporting the factory next door and for supporting our makers.
You know, there is a local warehousing operation that has an active recruitment campaign that says anything but shoes, to try and get people out of shoe factories working in their warehouse. Now, you know, I don't necessarily begrudge them for doing that because they're trying to fill their warehouse with people packing boxes. But I do think a factory, particularly a shoe factory where there are 250 processes that go into making a particular pair of boots or shoes, or up to 250 processes, is a wonderful way for people to learn a craft. Luckily, we we don't have a lot of people leaving. You know, we have people, even young people now, contacting us, wanting to see if there are opportunities here.
One of the things you just mentioned, though, made me want to cry, but it sounds like you've pulled me back from the edge of tears, which is the warehouse company saying, you know, kind of advertising for jobs saying anything but shoes, which just breaks my heart. But then I was
an internationally owned company as well, they're not even British.
But my next question was then going to be, has anyone actually left?
No.
To join?
No, not from here.
So we're now going to be going down to the closing room. And that's basically where all the individual pieces is stitched together. And to my left, you'll see a Dawn over here. She's been working here for 30 years in November. There you go.
Wow, many congratulations, Dawn. That's amazing. Can I ask what's kept you here so long?
I just love it here. I just do.
Why do you love it here?
Well, I like the work. I've done the same job since I was 16, so I worked somewhere else in the shoe factory before I started here, and I just like the work and the people, obviously.
And what are you doing here?
It's called skiving.
Skiving. Ah, now then, I remember Leslie telling me about this many episodes ago, where she said, "Oh, there's my skiving machine," and I said, "What? Do you just go use that when you need a rest?"
Yeah, exactly. It's a great name, isn't it? But it's just basically cutting all the leather down, so there's no edges to profile through onto the uppers. These are the linings, and then the girls can sew through it easier.
30 years. What kind of jobs have you done? Have you purely lived on this, focused on this?
Behind you, that's called the gimper.
I beg your pardon? Did you say the gimper machine? You're making this up. A gimper machine and a skiver.
It's called punching over there.
Punching machine.
When you go over that way.
You're making this up.
No, there's a few random names out there.
I know you love it here. And a few people say, oh, it's just, you know, Scott said this as well. He said, it's like a family. Yeah. It's like a family. I really love that. I want more information. I'm a bit more greedy than that. I want more information. What is it that's so nice about the environment and culture within this factory?
Well, I've always been, you know, interested in shoes. I started here when I was 30. But before that, when I was 16, I was straight in a shoe factory. So I'm dropping my age here. But here, it's just like coming home in the morning. Just, well, morning, everyone knows everybody else, because there are quite a few long-term people here, long-term. And when you're 16 and starting with the ones that have been there forever, you're scared, aren't you? And they take you under your wing. So I've done that quite a bit as well.
Oh, that's very nice. I bet that's been very much appreciated.
She was in her 40s and she'd never had a job before. And she came in and I sit by the door. And she went for her interview and she come out. She said, you gave me a bit of confidence because all I saw was your smile. And she worked with me for a little while.
That's lovely.
I am an
Hi, my name's Leo and my dad is Steve, host of this show. People often don't realise he does the factory next door all by himself. The recording, the editing, even the illustrations on Instagram. He's mildly talented, but he still needs a large amount of external validation. I guess as he grows up, he'll learn to be more self-confident like me. But until then, it'd be great if you could star the show on Apple or Spotify. Maybe even leave a nice review. Thanks! I'll let you get back to the show now.
What are the biggest challenges you're facing?
I think the last 5 years have been endless challenges to any business, particularly a manufacturing business like this situated here in the UK. Obviously, COVID was a huge life-changing event that completely changed this business in terms of people started to shop online more than go to bricks and mortar stores. So we were forced to develop and improve our online business, which I'm pleased to say is doing incredibly well. That was a massive wake-up call, as it was for the whole country, closely followed by Brexit, which personally I cannot and have not seen one benefit as of yet. The ill-judged decision by the Chancellor at the time to withdraw tax-free shopping had an effect on the sales of goods such as this in our stores in London, where big spenders would then go off and buy like-minded products in Rome, Paris, etc., Madrid, where there's an excellent VAT-free shopping program for tourists. We had increased energy costs, as everybody else did. So it's been what I would call a number of
Apart
challenges.
from that, you're flying.
Apart from that, it's been very good. No, I think there is business is always a catalogue of different challenges, on a daily, weekly, yearly basis. It's what you get. If you run a business, you're always faced with difficulties and things that come along. It just feels like the last few years it's been, a lot of things coming along in a very short period of time. But saying that, the one thing we have that is our greatest strength is our product. None of that really impacts our product, how we make it. Might impact the final cost of it at the destination, but the product itself remains something we're incredibly proud of.
I was going to ask, how have you survived all of that? But you're kind of answering it. You're saying just by making good.
Making good product is you do not do what a lot of businesses would do, which is look to cost cut, shortcuts. Can we buy a cheaper leather? Can we buy a cheaper thread? Can we buy, is there any way of making it slightly cheaper? Can we get the uppers made abroad? Yeah, we could. We don't. We went the other way. We went, how can we improve our product? How can we, make it better? Yes, it makes it a little bit more expensive, and you'll find that the retail price today is more than it was 5 years ago, but we have a better product.
Nice big sign there, warning, steep stairs. Not kidding. And down we go into... So are we ground floor level now? I've lost my bearings.
Yeah, so we're basically now on the ground floor. So there's 4 different departments just located on this bottom floor. But if you want me to just pop you out the front of the building and show you how beautiful the front of the building is, we could do that.
I'd love to see outside the front of the building. Because when I drove up, I came around the back, so I haven't yet seen it. Oh, what a lovely little cute door. Oh. Out onto the main road.
So we're basically now...
Oh my word, look at that.
Step back, it's a lovely listed building.
Are these glazed tile?
Yes.
Brick tiles all over the front of the building?
All over the front of the building.
And then you've got stained glass windows as well.
Yes.
Running along, actually all 3 floors have got stained glass windows.
Yes. And we also bought the house next door to the building, and we converted that house into our main reception front office.
You're surrounded by houses.
Yeah,
it's really, really residential.
Yes. Just at the top of this road there, you see that big building there? Yeah. That's now been converted into apartments, but that used to be a boot and shoe company. Just around this area alone, there used to be 175 boot and shoe companies. There's only literally a handful left. They've either been converted into apartments, or they've been converted into pubs. There's one on the corner up there that's called the Charles Bradlaugh. That used to be a boot and shoe factory. So yeah, just this area was just really known for the boot and shoe industry.
So all of these houses, which I'm looking at now, rows and rows of houses we're looking down on, presumably these in the past would have all been shoe workers.
More than likely, yes, definitely. So they would have just literally crossed the road. Like Dawn was saying upstairs earlier about the 90-year-old caretaker that we used to have. He used to literally live across the road in that house there. So he'd wake up early in the morning, 6 o'clock, cross the road, open up the building for everybody. So yeah, you'd get a lot of workers literally living around this area. Because it's just convenient. They wouldn't have to drive to work. It's just walking distance.
you've talked about the extraordinary challenges you have and continue to have to negotiate and deal with. Can you give right now, today, can you give me a reason for optimism?
A reason for optimism, I think if you're making a product of the level that we are, and I'm just talking about footwear, but there are companies that produce the very best knitwear. There are companies that produce the very best shirt, the best car, furniture. In the UK, there are pockets of excellence. I think that small business community, we've got to sell ourselves better. I think the country has got, made in UK, made in Great Britain, made in England, made in Northampton, make the most of that. Go abroad. There are people in Japan that want to buy British. There are people in America that want to buy British. We have got a phenomenal history in terms of products that we've made over the years and decades in this country. Those of us that are left have got to really show that craft and excellence is important when someone is buying something of value, and that's really where we are. I am optimistic. I think we've been around for, as I said, nearly 200 years. We survived the Crimean War, the First World War, the Second World War. This is just part of who we are.
Oh, thank you. Back inside.
So as we're going to go back in, down here you'll notice different smells as well. So this is where the upper now is going to be grafted, pulled over a wooden last or a plastic last.
I mean, we're looking at rows and rows.
Yes.
Just rows and rows of uppers where the sole is getting ready to go on, is that right?
So these ones that are sitting in front of us now, they've had the through stitched on.
What's the through?
So just the through is the middle part in between the welt and the insole and the sole. And like you said, there's rows and rows. It's just like a sea of shoes on this bottom floor that's just going round.
It is. It's awesome. I love it.
You can see that there's red tickets, there's orange tickets on some of the racks.
Ooh, tell me about the tickets. So, I love a good ticket.
The red tickets are indicating basically these ones are our main priority. So these ones are urgent. We need to get these made up first. We've got deadlines to meet basically. We're now coming to the end of the factory, so we're now going to enter the shoe room and the final quality control inspection room. So I'm going to take you around, and as you can see, you can really see the shoes starting to come to life now. So all the soles have been done. So this room here mainly focuses on the top part of the shoe, so the upper. So it's cleaning and antiquing, getting rid of any stitch marks, and also putting the socks in, just the final little details. The sole stamping, the made in England, the most important part, and then the final quality control inspection. So we've got 3 people that actually overlook the final step of our shoes. They're basically the goalkeepers of Trickers. It's up to them to say yes or no whether these shoes are going to be leaving the building.
The shoe industry might be 500-600 years old in Northampton and Northamptonshire, but those of us that are still here today have a responsibility for ensuring that the shoe industry retains a presence here in the county, and that, this sort of rather than sort of nondescript town in the middle of the UK is the home to 5 or 6 internationally recognised luxury brands, because that's what we are. Our shoes, are sold around the world. 80% of what we sell is exported. Yeah, it's quite interesting. Northampton, how many other towns in the UK are home to 5 or 6 globally recognised international luxury brands? Not many.
And everyone around here is walking around in very nice pairs of shoes.
Everyone in Northamptonshire recognises a very nice pair of shoes, whether it's from here or another factory. Yes, you will not find a town in the UK with better footwear than Northampton.
Martin, I hope some of those barriers come down soon. It's been a pleasure talking to you, and I'd like to thank you for the amazing shoes you make here.
Well, thank you for coming here. It's been a pleasure to show you around our wonderful factory.
Okay, into the shed of greatness goes the Country Brogues by Trickers, number 32 on our list of the greatest things we make here. My thanks to Martin and the whole team at Trickers for allowing us to hang out with them for a few hours. And a shout out to Dawn, whose laugh was absolutely infectious. Best laugh I've heard since my mate Mark watched Friends at uni with me. Thanks for all of your recent messages. Catherine O'Hara, your coffees are greatly appreciated, and it's very nice to hang out with you on your dog walks. On your bike, Somerton, well said. Simon Hilton photo, yes it is, but it needs to be to carry all of my stuff. Okay, that's us done for this episode. Let's meet again in 2 weeks among the rolling hills of Somerset. Wherever you are, whatever you're doing, I hope you're happy. Until next time, bye. My thanks again to our new partner, Aviva. They're such a good fit for the show because they're in the business of helping manufacturers, and they've been doing it for more than 50 years. A leader in industrial intelligence, Aviva's software connects and empowers people to improve plant productivity, sustainability, and business agility. Just a reminder that Aviva's got a newsletter, and if you're interested in manufacturing, please do sign up for it. Go to www.aveva.com/factory. Again, I'm going to put the link in the show notes. My thanks to Aviva for supporting the factory next door.